Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity, flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recaps then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Yeah, sell it through the stack. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee back. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Rich. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the channel. We cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and today's show is going to be a bounce back show because I feel like all crypto right now is about to take a huge bounce back. Yesterday, a lot of people don't really know this, but the bond market took a hit yesterday because the Fed came out, tried to sell bonds into the market. There was no bids in the auction. No bids in the auction, guys. Nobody wants these 20-year bonds. Jerome Powell and his goons are trying to push out there, which means only one thing. It means it's time for them to stop selling bonds into the market and actually start going into the market and buying them up. Quantitative easing is a big reason why we usually have bull markets and why they are so crazy. Quantitative easing is coming. What does that mean for now, right? Well, the markets are forward looking. This stuff needs to get priced in. Everyone first is scared, and then they are like, where can I make money? And people are getting ready for quantitative easing. So quantitative easing plus a rate cutting cycle equals the greatest bull run that we've ever seen, in my opinion. And I think that comes, last cycle, rates were zero pretty much until, to the end, right? Until Bitcoin started to drop and everything started to drop. So now what happens when we get in the early days of that? And with a forward-looking market, this could get extremely volatile to the upside for a lot of crypto. And, I think, the Bitcoin Rune sector, the Ethereum area, the Ethereum beta plays, I think these will all start to take off. We are in the last week of August, the week before Labor Day, which usually is a very boring time in the market. A lot of transitioning going on. People are coming back from vacation, getting back to their desk. Kids are going back to school. Colleges are starting their first semester. There's a lot going on right now that is affecting people and their normal lives. But when school starts back, when your kids are in school for 9 hours, the investors sit down and they start getting involved. And I do think we see that. And I do think that we see that very quickly in the next week or so, especially with the 17th being that rate cut day. This Friday, though, we do have PCE, another data point. So that is something that is worrying a lot of people as well. We are looking forward to a rate cut. So all data matters at this point. So Friday is going to be a little bit But we'll see. I think we have a good number this Friday, and we'll see what is going on. But I'm excited for today's show. A lot is happening in the markets, even on a down day. So we're gonna get into all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get the show started. Bringing my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? How are you feeling today? I know you're a little bit on the downside. How are you feeling though, personally?
I'm just I would say probably, in the very first time in a long time I felt like really, I don't know. I know what's coming, so that makes it better. But it just throws you off whenever like from the fundamentals of our space, like how things should be, and when something like that happened yesterday with the Fed not being able to sell bonds, that they messed up. They're too late, and now no one wants to buy the bonds. You know what I mean? They should have been in QE a while ago. But the bright side, I always try to look at the bright side in a cup half full, right? So it's getting harder. But I will say that they can kind of hyper create like a really cute, like a hyper QE situation into a really good last kind of end of the year. But I will say that just everywhere you look right now, other than some bounce back this morning, which thank God Ethereum has bounced back to back over 4,500. Bitcoin, looked like it was heading to like 108 yesterday. It was just. And then like you look in every other pocket of the space and it's dry. You know what I mean? Except, like I said, except for some of these Bitcoin ecosystems, which it's not like a ton of liquidity, but at least they're like some news, and some of these tokens, some people are getting some wins there. But I do think it turns around. But it's just this is the first time in a long time that I felt like despair for a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like we feel so every August though. Remember August of 2023? Like that was
okay during that time because and it depends too. Like, you know what I mean? Like during that time, I kind of front I guess I prepared pretty well with the BRC20 situation. Yeah. I got in early with that. But I look around right now and I look at like Solana, I look at like ordinals, and I look at like these places to where you can at least do something a little bit here and there. And, the past like 2 weeks, it's been like a very, very dry area. But, there's your one-offs in the Bitcoin ecosystem, which is great to see. There's a new collection that also dropped, I believe, from the Alcanes that did very well. The Pepes.
Fine Pepes.
Yeah, Fine Pepes. That did really well. Then you have Rad Tarded. And like that's I like to see that at least, like if anything's gonna shine and it comes from the Bitcoin ecosystem, that makes me happy. A little smile in there.
Yeah, 100%. I'm definitely happy for Scott. I do think a lot of that liquidity came from Odin, and Odin is officially up and running again.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little scary for anyone holding the Rad Tarded token and the other ones that are doing good. Rad CAD now, I think it's over there. Those ones are a little kind of, I mean, who knows, right? Who knows what can happen? They can keep going up. But I'm just saying, I think a lot of that liquidity from these fast-paced traders that went to RadFi and stuff like that. So we'll see if that continues. But hey, they know what RadFi is now, so that's always good. But let's get into our first thing today. And every day we like to start off with a Trench Kitty update. Let's kind of go with what is happening with a TK. So right now, if you guys have not joined the community, please do. So come over here, join the community. We're at 208 followers. It's growing every single day, so that is awesome. Yesterday, the chart did fall, which is very normal for a meme coin, but I'm very happy to say we were at 88,000, now back up to 109. So we did see a bottom here. As you can see, it followed this resistance line over here. So I'm very happy about this. I do think we head back to the upside now. Every meme coin got hit yesterday. I mean, including Farcoin. I mean, Farcoin is a leading indicator for meme coins, and it's at 78 cents. So
right now,
absolutely getting destroyed. Yeah, it's 78 cents right now. Yeah. So that's kind of,
yeah. It hasn't even bounced back with Ethereum.
Well, Ethereum's back to 455, right? So that's, I don't know. I find
that really
strong.
No, I'm saying it hasn't bounced back with it. You get what I'm
No.
saying? So
Yeah.
so to your point, memes are still struggling, and
Yes.
Ethereum is just kind of clawing its way back to show strength.
100%, 100%. So I think TK has a really good day today. I think we head back to that 150, 180 range. I would love to see it back over the all-time high by next week. I think it gets there. Remember, if you can buy it as the rune as well, they got some orders over here. Market cap over here is 187. The market cap over here is 109. So there's a huge difference there. But if you don't want to bridge, you can potentially just buy it over here. Remember, staking vaults for Trench Kitty open up. They're going to be opening up in September 1st. So about 5 days. Fluid tokens will have staking vaults for the Bitcoin side only. So you guys will be able to stake your Bitcoin Trench Kitty over there. Huge reward. About 3% of the supply will go to stakers. So you guys will split it between each staker. So that is going to be absolutely awesome. So big news coming for TK. If you don't got a bag of TK runes yet, I highly recommend it on the sense of staking is going to potentially 10x what you have there. So think about that for a second. There's 35 million tokens getting given to everyone who staked 90-day stakes. So we're rewarding long-term holders. Long-term holders always win. It's not about timing in the market. It's about time in the market. So that is what we're doing for Trench Kitty. So check out the rune, check out the Solana token, and make sure you guys are go follow Trench Kitty and everything. And remember, we are doing a Trench Kitty giveaway today. We're giving away 300,000 Trench Kitty. All you have to do is go into the chat, the YouTube chat or the X chat. If you're going from the X chat, all you got to do is put hashtag TK or TK. It doesn't matter. Either one's fine. And on the YouTube side, please put your Twitter handle and TK. That'll help me be able to reach you quicker to get you your winnings. So definitely do that, guys. We're going to spin the wheel towards the end of the show, towards that 12:30 time. Eastern time. So you definitely want to be a part of that if you haven't already. Go into the chat right now, TK, and then Twitter handle. But let's jump into the first story of today, which is our title. BTC shifts to diamond hands, Monstrous Soul Treasuries, and altcoin Parabola this September. Let's talk about the first part of that. Soul Treasuries are going to be Monstrous. So this is an article from Cointelegraph. And, a quote from Solana co-founder Raj Gokul. And Raj is basically saying that he's seeing a lot of these treasury companies kind of start buying some SOL for these treasuries. And then we've seen Pantera Capital. They plan to raise $1.25 billion to transform a publicly traded company into a Solana investment firm, meaning a SPAC. So Pantera, and these are big players in the crypto markets, big players in TradFi. They're getting their hands dirty right now, and they see what Tom Lee's doing, and they want to beat him. How do you do that? You get into a riskier asset with potentially bigger gains.
Yeah, and we'll see if this creates like some sort of waterfall effect for Solana and these treasury companies. I mean, they seem to be one of the obvious selections to fall into next, right? You have Bitcoin with like more and more treasury companies that invest in it and form. Ethereum's the hot one right now. It's under the spotlight, right? The limelight, I should say. So, what's next? You got to think something that's really popular, like Solana or maybe XRP. But like Solana has a lot of activity as well on chain, and so I would assume that they would be next. But what can that do for the asset itself? Well, I think it could do a lot. Solana pumps up to $300, $350, something like that. You're going to start to see more risk, more probably sustainable like meme coins and stuff like that because there's more liquidity in the market. And right now there just isn't that, right? So we talk about these DATs, these treasury companies that are going to start forming. It's going to be a popular trend, and we're going to see how far it goes, in terms of these altcoins. But the DATs, those companies can really prop up the token or the chain of that token because of the liquidity, because of the risk on. And actually, what I think it would be great. It could be a great thing for our space because it can bring activity to those other chains. Right now, we kind of suffer under this, keeping most activity under one chain, or if there's some that builds up under another, you don't really hear about like how it was last cycle where there was like activity happening on multiple chains. You know what I mean? And I think we need that back. And I think this, these treasury companies could start that trend again.
Yeah, 100% agree. And a lot of traders right now, especially the trenches traders, they're holding on to their Solana. So think about that for a second. Solana jumps up 50, $60. They're all going to feel, very,
Rich.
very risk on, right? Well, rich too, but like risk on, meaning they're going to be willing to potentially lose some of that dollar value to kind of get risky and play in some of these trenches again. That's kind of what we need. I think that will spark a Solana meme coin kind of push, especially for the launchpad wars that's happening. You can potentially see that once these treasury companies really come on. And, this could be something that Tom Lee goes to eventually as well. Tom Lee seems to be kind of going down the ladder right now. He does like Ethereum and they're buying a lot of Ethereum up. But what happens when that actually gets to the point where it's too expensive? You move on to the next one.
Yeah, well, I think he's like an opportunist. I've said that many times. He has the capitalistic mindset, and like his company's called BitMine. So yeah, I do think that like he would take advantage of another hot asset. It doesn't mean that he lets go of every, all the Ethereum. I think he still looks at. He said it himself. Decade macro decade play. You know what I mean? So, but he's about making money first and foremost, right? So I don't know if he would mix a ton, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did kind of, diversified a little bit, but and then possibly like you're going to start to see this the next face of Solana, or like the next, you have Saylor of Bitcoin, you have now Tom Lee being the face of Ethereum. Who's going to be the face of the Solana Treasury group? I think we'll start to see some names in the next couple of months.
Yeah, Pantera is a big one. So that's one that kind of starts as well. So the next part of this is when Fed cuts rates last September, altcoins went parabolic. So I do get this a little bit, but I don't think it was the rate cut that made altcoins go parabolic. I do think it was the Trump, winning the election. The rate cut, I just don't think this is true. But, this was a quote from Mark Sean Brown. He says, when Fed cuts rates last September, altcoins went parabolic. Altcoin market went from 554 to 116. Again, I do think this was the Trump pump. I don't think it was the rate cut, but I do see kind of, I'm hoping.
But it did start in late September, early October, like the push up. If you remember, like in October is whenever $1 billion cat crossed over $100 million. You know what I mean? And then
no, that's it was late November.
Maybe the first market cap number then was like something pretty big, like 80 then in October. It crossed something big. It started getting going in October. I know that for a fact, because I remember being like, dang man, I want to jump in this, but I felt a little bit late on it. Anyways, multiple alts started going in October, and I don't know if that was a direct effect of the rate cut, but I think, yes, people were excited about November, the election, but at the same time, they were already like the motion was going with a lot of these altcoins. They were getting through that second hurdle of getting up. And of course, we saw, some crazy, parabolic volatility to the upside in November and December. Eventually.
So yeah, from my like remembering, I do remember it starting to bubble a little bit. But Trump was winning in the poly market at the time, and then it was right when Kamala was like starting to lose again. She came out of nowhere in October, and I remember the markets kind of being very, very like F this, you know what I mean? And then late October, early November is when everything just really started to rip heavy, right? And then but the rate cut could have started that. The rate cut could be that that spark that kind of eventually erupts the market. We will see, but again, markets are forward looking, so if we get one, we're going to be looking for that second one. That's the biggest thing. If he gets one, if he does a rate cut and then comes out in that speech on the 17th and says we're going to monitor it further, this could be like the only one or something like that, we could push another month, right, where we're kind of sideways again. But hopefully not. Hopefully we can kind of get something going here and we get some Fed but we're really depending on the data, like PCE this Friday, and then CPI and PPI the second week of September, right before the rate cut. So data driven for sure. But poly market is actually showing pretty good here. So we're about 84% cut and 17% no cut here. So what do you think, man?
I think it's being heavily manipulated. I think it's being heavily manipulated. I think that there's probably some sort of people that are involved with the market making or something, because
Yeah.
yesterday no change was at 21%. Why? Why was no change at 21%? Like, what reason would it jump up 5% after Friday's speech? There's none. There's absolutely none.
Well, big whale coming in, making a big bet.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So pushing it this way to confuse, big players, or say, hey, let's bring the market down a bit. You know what I mean? And so I think we got to be aware of, like, I think if we're not like very close to the rate cut date or anything with poly market, it can be
Yeah.
manipulated in one way. We actually saw it with the election too. Like,
Yeah.
there was a huge a bettor from France that he was confident that Trump was going to win. So like he started betting in that. But then we saw it swinging the other direction, and we were like, this is weird. Why is it going? I guess it swung pretty hard at one point.
Yeah.
And we were like, this has got to be manipulated, which we later find out it was. But I mean, what can you do? You can't do anything. They're willing to lose those dollars for, to push people's perception. And so that's going to be a part of poly market. But I think anything like if you're within like a 5 to 10 day range, I think you can pretty much count on what it says, or at least like you can lean toward, you can see where it's leaning. But outside of that 10-day period, I think you got to be careful a little bit, especially if it affects markets.
I agree. And for this being so David driven, we got jobs number this Thursday. We have PCE Friday. I think it's I'll find out the exact dates for you guys tomorrow when CPI and PPI are, but it's scary, man, that like any day this could change back to 50-50 with just one data point dropping markets. So I just want to get through August. I want August to be done. Like, you know what I mean?
It started so well. It
did. I feel like, but I do feel like the bottom's in. Tom Lee actually came out and he said ETH bottom this morning. He said and then they went and bought the bottom. So where is that one? Bitmine bought another 4,871 ETH worth $21 million, bringing its total holdings to 1.7 million ETH worth $7.6 billion. So he bought the dip this morning. He called the bottom and bought the dip. He might have been the reason for the bottom, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, but I don't know if it could feel worse than it does right now, like in the risk on environment. So I do agree with this. Most likely is the bottom, because like in the risk on environment, it feels horrible. Like it's just like it's just really bad. So like in my mind, in with my perception, I'm like, I can't perceive it to feel worse than this. You know what I mean? Like, what could be worse than this? Like, there's, but the two things that like I'm really looking forward to is, us getting into the risk environment with the DATs, and then the whales in those different ecosystems and environments realizing that's where we are. And let's kind of relax a little bit and try to, see what we can get going with the risk on environment. I get it. I get why it isn't going right now, but man, this is probably bottom.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yesterday as well, August 25th, Ethereum spot ETF recorded $444 million in total net inflows, marking 3 consecutive. Think about that for a second. Like Bitcoin, they're pushing Bitcoin down and buying Ethereum up. But what is happening, the market makers and these bots that, when Bitcoin drops, they force sell ETH. This is like the perfect scenario for TradFi right now, because they're able to short Bitcoin, long Ethereum, right? And then I'm sure short Bitcoin and buy Ethereum, not play leverage on it, and really get it for the price they want. And then you've seen SharpLink announce the acquisition of 56,000 more Ethereum at an average price of 44.62. That was the bottom number right there. I think we might hit 43, but I mean, pretty damn close to the bottom, totaling on $252 million. SharpLink's like, all right, time to go. So this to me is like the perfect scenario. This is, again, watch what they're doing right now. Don't worry about the future, because these guys, they basically have a blanket under Ethereum. Anytime it falls, they buy.
Yeah, and they're not buying to flip it in December. That's not what they're doing. This is a long-term stretch play for them. And when I say long term, I mean at least, I think for quite a bit, right? I mean, if you think about like how long Sailor's been doing it, this is completely new approach to like a new financial system. Staking is involved. There's other ways that they're making money. It's not just a quick flip, but that is how the crypto Twitter and most of these smaller whales that aren't institutions, that's how they make money, right? But to your point, so like Bitcoin, Ethereum, we know that like this is a long game for these institutions. They're, like you said, that's that blanket, right?
Yeah.
They cannot actually allow it to get too low, because at that point, whatever they're leveraging to be able to get these things, to be able to get this amount of assets in Ethereum or Bitcoin, they want to make sure that they're not in any type of risk, on like high risk situation doing this. So you're right, they pick it up cheap. They're if they're doing some strategy shorting Bitcoin on the side or whatever, I don't know, but they're going to continually acquire ETH cheap and get to a point. Like, look, MicroStrategy was doing it and it helped get it to 124. Right? So we're going to see how high they're going to help ETH get to before the year is up.
100%. All right, let's talk about why we dipped yesterday. So the U.S. 20-year Treasury auction just flopped. Lack of buyers sent yield spiking to 5.1%. Think about that for a second. Why would you invest in stocks at all-time high? Why would you invest in Bitcoin at an all-time high and Ethereum potentially at an all-time high when you can get 5% yield on Treasury bonds? This is a problem for risk on. This is a risk off move, guaranteed 5.1%, and they still didn't buy them up. This is scary right now. This is getting really scary. The bond market is shaking. The 10-year yield jumped up tons. The 5 yield jumped up tons. People came in and started buying the 5-year up because that is very safe bet, right? The 10-year, man, I mean, it's almost at 6%. I mean, just think about that for a second. This is getting scary. With bonds collapse, I mean, it's going to get strong, but there is good news. Quantitative easing does solve a lot of these problems.
Yeah, which I think should have been implemented probably. I don't know. I mean, it's easy to say that, but typically, heading into a bull run year at the, Q4, that's when easing starts, right? Like that's whenever it starts. So, I mean, I guess the timing's kind of matching up. Trump wanted it sooner. We wanted it sooner. But now I guess, we'll see. Like, hopefully they make the right decisions from here on out to the end of the year. And we all want risk on right now, but I guess he's just trying to do his job. I don't know, but at the end of the day, like it's kind of, I feel like he's late with it, but that's me that has, a thorn in my side right now from him.
Yeah, 100%. But you have to remember too, quantitative easing causes inflation. Trump's Powell's biggest thing right now is keeping inflation. He wants to get that 2% target, but I think what happened with COVID and the money printer, it's impossible to kind of keep that at 2% anymore. I think Powell or the next guy has to come out and say we're okay with 3%. And it does seem like it's crazy, like to say that our money's going to inflate 3% every year. Because that's like $40 trillion, right? So we're gonna add what? Forget $6 trillion every year to the deficit. Sounds nuts, but it is what it is. I mean, this is why Bitcoin is so important. This is why Ethereum is so important. It's because they can't contain this. This will go to 3%. Eventually, they'll be okay with 4%. Because that is how you keep the Ponzi going. You keep it going by inflating the dollar, right, and putting more dollars out there. Milk's going to $20 a gallon, bread's going to $20 a loaf. There's nothing we can do about it, but we just gotta get in assets that are going to appreciate with the inflation, like Bitcoin and all these other cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll let milk get that high.
It's already $7. It was $4 2 years ago.
Like $20 and $7 is a pretty big difference.
Well, I mean, if you inflate the dollar 3% every year, I mean, milk has to go up 3% every year, right? So if you take 10 years down the line, that's 30%. That's milk at $9.
Yeah, but $20 is still a big difference between 9.
Well, I'm just saying over time. I don't mean next week, but the next, by 2035, I think milk will be $20 a gallon.
Yeah, but I think some people expect that in 2035, which
Yeah.
is absolutely crazy. That's just the expectation of living in America. It's been constantly inflated. But I mean, what like, yeah, why is his stance so hard on 2% right now? I mean, I feel like he's extra hard on it. They've been like, what is it going to do if we get to 2%? Is it going to eliminate our debt? Hell no. Like, our debt's still huge. It's going to be still tacking more debt onto it. You know what I mean? Like, what is it going to do?
Yeah.
Like, actually give some relief and then bring some of the rates down a little bit, for the country to start being able to, for the Gen Zers to be able to get in the homes. They can't get in the homes. A lot of them got left out from the amazing rates that we, millennials and some Gen Zers, but and up, were able to take advantage of. Right, the majority of Gen Zers missed out on that, and so now, like, if they've grown up, they've gotten older into like a young business professional, whether they finished school and got a good job, or they just worked their ass off and got into a situation and what, so they could pay a 8% mortgage. I mean, like, they're getting wrecked, right? Give them a chance to refinance a little bit and get the economy spurring again, and that's my mentality. But also, I'm thinking from a little bit of a selfish mentality. Do I want the crypto markets to thrive?
Yeah, I know.
But
I agree. Let's move to the next thing here. Trump Media and Crypto.com and a SPAC called Yorkville will form a Trump Media Group Crow Strategy Incorporated with $6.42 billion to build a Crow Treasury. So this is going to be a gift from the Crow Treasury to this SPAC to hold and hodl and grow it, meaning buy more. So what do you think about this first? The company that has, a tons of it, giving 6.42 of it to this holding company now, which is backed by Trump Media. I think they just want Trump Media's name on it at Crypto.com's Crow tokens, and then the SPAC's spot, right? I think that it was just kind of just like a no-brainer here. It was like, let's just do this. Let's just move it from one wallet to the next.
yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked that Crypto.com is making moves like this. They've actually been very good at branding and the marketing side. They, if they weren't headquartered in Singapore, which I actually think that they benefit from that, but I'm just saying I think if they were an American centralized exchange company with the same approach, I think that they would be competing with like Coinbase and stuff like that. Just because they're marketing, like, for a marketing person, been in like corporate marketing and stuff, like, you appreciate stuff like that. They just done a great job, and they're from Singapore, and they've had commercials in the Super Bowl. They've had, they sponsored the Staples Center, and they done it in a way to where they were able to continually do it, unlike FTX, which had to remove their name from Miami Heat's arena, right? So yeah, and so I think Crypto.com is going to have a big presence in the U.S. They're still not going to be able to compete like at that one spot, but they'll settle for like a top 3 in terms of presence over here. I mean, who wouldn't, right? And then they have their presence in the East as well. Now, I know that they're still kind of looked at as like probably like number 4 or 5 or 6 maybe, but I just like, they were one of the first to do debit cards. I actually had one. I remember when I got it, it was like that metal card. I could just use, and I get rewards and stuff like that. So they're very forward thinking. So not shocked here. Probably going to see more. So expect more from them.
Yeah, 100%. It's really, I thought this was awesome. I'm just excited for it. I'm curious if they have like a US office. They might now.
If they don't, yeah, exactly. If they don't, or if they didn't, then they probably do now, or they will.
Yeah, 100%. Hyperliquid hit 330 billion in July spot and perp volume. 330 billion. Topping Robinhood of all places, right? By 200. Robinhood had 237 billion. Its third straight month in the lead. Hyperliquid is now getting to the point where it is passing Robinhood, potentially could pass Coinbase and all the US stock. And Hyperliquid is something with a VPN, because you have to have a VPN use Hyperliquid, correct? In the US?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to have a VPN on and stuff like that. And if you need a VPN, you guys can use our link on OnChainRevolution.io. But just saying, but they use something like Hyperliquid and stuff like that. So, and you are seeing a lot of Americans use it. I mean, I watched 2 podcasts yesterday. Each of them said at one point that they are taking perps on Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid, dude, it's going to get I think it 10x's from where it's at now, and it's going to get on the radar of some huge people. I know I say this every day, but I'm scared for Hyperliquid. I just think that they're getting too big too fast.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how do you say that to a company that's, you know, just trying to be successful, and they have been the entire time, right? So, like, what are they supposed to do? Like, slow down their growth, you know? So it's
No, I
kind
don't
of,
think. I'm just saying, like, they're disrupting some huge players, right? So, and they're not publicly traded, so they don't reap the benefits of that. They don't have KYC, so they don't reap the benefits of that. And it's just, to me, I think it's phenomenal. I love it, but I'm just, I don't know, man. There's something about the last 5 years in crypto, and I could be wrong now with the new administration, but I just feel worried for the crypto market if something happens to this company.
yeah, of course. Like, you know, the crypto market would be like shaken big time, you know? So, but I just don't know how you can prevent it, you know, because like they're going to continually get bigger, they're going to continually
Yeah.
get more successful.
Yeah.
And like one way, like if this were to happen in the TradFi market, like let's say 15 years ago, like they would be protected in that aspect, right? To where they're like, hey, look, we're getting attacked from this and this angle to like the US government or whatever, you know, they could, you know, at least have some sort of protocol that they would have internally with like a government agency or something, as opposed to this, if like they're getting, I don't know, if it's just some way of manipulation from the outside, but like, you know, they're not like stealing any money or anything. Like, I don't know how you handle that.
Well, you are. I mean, when people don't pay taxes on their gains, right, and don't report those gains, that's technically is stealing to them, right? And if they did KYC, they could go to the government right now and say, "Hey, we want to get a banking license." And with a banking license, you do get all those protections, right? If anything does happen to you, you could potentially go public, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But you know, the same worries come to stuff like Aave. But Aave has been growing for 5 years very slowly, right? So you can't really. I think they've already, you know, they don't have the same problem where with leverage, some big whale can just come in and just take a huge leverage position and really mess up a lot of things, right? You can when you have unlimited amount of money, like some of these banking corporations do, or Binance and stuff like that, you could disrupt something like Hyperliquid because of the perps and stuff. And I'm sure Binance and stuff like that know how to disrupt their own exchange. So with them that knowledge, they probably know how to interrupt something like Hyperliquid. I'm just saying, I don't think it happens soon. I do think it happens like when they do reach a certain point, but they're just getting bigger and bigger every month, man. I just feel like you know, and I'm not, this isn't like, I don't want to do this. I'm not saying this as like I told you so type of thing. If it does happen, to me, it's just, it's one of my biggest concerns about the start of the bear market, and that could be Terra Luna PTSD, right? Because they were disrupting the stablecoin market.
Yeah, they were disrupting the stablecoin market, but I think whenever you disrupt the stablecoin market, you disrupt more than just, you know, other stablecoin competitors, which actually it is the stablecoin competitors, but it's also the governments and stuff that see, like, you have more of I think enemies against you as a
Yeah.
stablecoin provider, and especially if it's, you know, algorithmic, and you know you're basically, you know, trying to take all this liquidity from all the other stable coins and all this stuff, right? So I think, and then also just the way I'm sure the way that he also ran, you know, Luna was not smart in the terms of like how he handled regulators, because regulators did approach him at
Yeah.
different conferences and stuff, like US regulators actually, and you know, said, hey, you know, we need to talk and stuff, and he was just kind of like, hey man, like, I don't need to talk to anybody, and, you know,
Yeah.
constantly like pushing back, and I'm the shit kind of attitude, and you know, it just paints an even bigger target on your back. But with
Well,
Hyperliquid, I feel like they're very, you know, we built this business. It's a perps and leverage business. There's other perps and leverage businesses in the market as well. We're not trying to sabotage anybody else. We're just doing our day to day, and we're successful. I feel like they're not looked at as the same way as Do Kwon and Luna was.
so Do Kwon was great up until the end. I mean, there was everyone loved Do Kwon in 2021. Everyone did.
He would.
But the fact that when he went on stage and then he got served. No, but if he went on when he got on stage and got served, every podcast, everything I listened to was defending him. He was like the godson at one point, right? Like he was looked at as like, wow. But the disruption happened because he was giving 20% yield on stablecoin.
Yeah,
that's why everyone hated him, and because they went to him and said, "Hey, what are you backing the stablecoin with?" And he said, "Nothing. It's algorithmic stablecoin." So that's why they hated it as well, because he didn't have to go into the market and buy treasury bonds. He didn't have to go and do anything. His coin was running because Luna was doing well, right? And he was able to offer that yield paid in Luna. So that was the problem, and that's why they hated him. But he was such a loved figure up until the quote that came out and says "steady lads." Once that happened, and once he started buying Bitcoin, and that's when everything turned against him. That's when he got arrogant and misleading.
Well, he was going back and forth with his Twitter post between people that were saying, oh, you think you're indestructible? Okay, we'll find out, and he was just like, basically, yeah, I am indestructible. No one can break down.
But don't you want to hear that though, as a holder of Luna?
No, but it's not smart though. It's not smart because it's like if you better have zero error in your next steps and your protocol, and no holes or anything like that if you're going to act like that, because what you're doing now is you're creating challenges. Right now you're saying, okay, I don't think anybody could disrupt what we have at Luna and all this stuff, which we found out wasn't the case. Like it was obviously disrupted. And then like, also kind of just telling your game plan on Twitter, you know what I mean? it is just like not smart in my opinion. I think he's like, sometimes people are so smart. I think he's a smart guy. Number one, if you talk about like, book smart and all these things, but sometimes people have so much success that they kind of play into like stupid actions. Right. And I think that's what he fell into.
And he folded under pressure too. The pressure got to him at the end. And I think he just imploded. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't think, Hyperliquid does fall into that category, but it's just one of those things where if there is a bear market catalyst, that's my number one on my list. It's that and Sailor, right? I don't think anything happens to Sailor either, but I should rephrase that, and not Sailor in general, but like the whole companies, SPACs buying cryptocurrency.
Yeah, well, the company's SPACs. Okay, so that's an interesting thing because you've said that before. You're like, okay, the treasury companies that are in right now. So I would say, you have Sailor, you have Tom Lee, you have what is it, Sparklink?
Yeah, Sharplink.
Yeah, Sharplink. Sorry, Sharplink. You have them. You feel like they're kind of in the safe zone, but as the SPACs come in more and more and more, you feel like they're. But I don't know. So I look at it like the .com bubble. Kind of. I said this yesterday that you're gonna have a lot of losers, and then you're gonna have some big winners. And so maybe the winners are like AVAX. Maybe the winners are some of these that like get heavy SPAC support to where that token is being bought up, and then you're gonna have some losers, right? Who knows? I'm just saying just random examples, but like maybe Near or something like that doesn't pan out the way it does. Nothing against Near at all. I'm just using them as an example because I think that's a good example because Near has a brandable name to where they could get SPAC support, right? They could get that and then get the DAT formed and all that stuff. And maybe they lose in the long run. But my point is that like you're going to have some big winners over the long term as well. And I think that's okay because we saw that play out with the .com industry. And then also we got to remember this. Yeah, we know about Amazon. We know about Google. We know about, even Yahoo, which was still worth billions today, right? Like the brand or whatever. But we don't know a lot about like the .coms that survived that were sold for like 150 million, 500 million, 300 million, or even small names today that are worth like like a couple hundred million. And that to me shows how strong that market eventually became. And I think our market becomes that, but there's going to be a good amount of losers in the initial SPAC run or DAT run.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest problem, I completely agree with you, but I think the biggest problem is I think we're going to have a huge bull run, right? I think everything jumps up 10, 20, 30%, 100%, or I'm sorry, 100x, right? 10, 30, 100x, right? In the future, in the next six months. But can TradFi deal with a 70% drop? We can. It's no problem for us. We've done it
I
multiple
mean,
times.
yeah.
I mean, it sucks, but like we know that we are going to see that. But they're not going to see that coming. If let's just say we start to excel, we get the numbers that I've been talking about next May, and then something happens in the market, right? That they're not used to. China banning Bitcoin, so it's some crazy normal stuff to us, but crazy to them. And then potentially you see some of these SPACs drop 60-70% in one day. They can't deal with that. They would be shaken. Right? What's going to happen when they shake? They sell everything. And that could actually excel that to 90%. That is the catalyst that scares me, not the fact that, they're everything's going to implode or they get too risky. The fact that can they deal with a 70% drop in one day?
Yeah.
The
So
answer is no.
well,
They
no, I
can't.
mean, like, I think the SPAC market does deal with stuff like that. Like in the TradFi
Mm,
SPAC market, it's one of the most risky parts of TradFi because they know that like basically no strings attached type of funding. You know what I mean? It's like, but they're expecting that high kind of, reward, right? Whether that's going to be in a year, 2 years, whatever, right? 5 years. But so a lot of times, you hit big or you lose in the SPAC world, right?
Yeah, but the problem is that cryptocurrency is like a asset class, and it kind of moves together. So can they deal with an entire? So normally with SPACs, you have an you have an auto
Yeah, yeah,
SPAC,
yeah.
you have a concrete SPAC. You don't
Categories.
have SPACs that are just all cryptocurrency that move together. And if you know that if Ethereum drops, XRP's dropping, Cardano's dropping, so that could all implode in one day. Like you could just have all the SPAC, everyone, a complete sell-off of SPACs in one day. Let's just say if Hyperliquid fails, right? It could get pretty crazy. If one day Hyperliquid hacked, the entire market just dumps because they're holding so much cryptocurrency over there, right? That they might have to be forced to sell, like an FTX type of situation. The more Bitcoin, the more Ethereum that go into Hyperliquid, there's more chances of something happening, in my opinion, where they need to sell that to make everyone whole, right? That's the scary part to me. And can the SPACs withstand a 50% drop in one day without them just telling their financial advisors, dump it, get rid of it? And that could escalate very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that could escalate very quickly. But we'll see. We'll see what the market looks like in 2026. Also, you have to remember this is new, not for just us, but like especially for them, right? So I think they're trying to also form this new system of, financial system, in their the way they deal with it, and so we're gonna see what they can see, because I truly think that like TradFi is going to create a safe crypto investment type of industry or sector, medium and very high risk, which I think most of them will stay away from the very high risk, but I think that they'll still have it, obviously, just like their TradFi is, but their high risk is not going to be the same as our high risk, by the way. Like, they're not going to be messing around with, these meme coins all the time and stuff like that. So
Who knows? They might get some SPACs. We'll see. Let's move along, though. Fun to talk about, though. Fun to talk about. Hayden Davis, the figure behind LIBRA token project, allegedly sniped the YZY token, the Easy token, at launch using multiple addresses, generating approximately $12 million in profits that he sold. This was the same day he got his money, dude. This is crazy. And we did talk about it when it happened, but easy $12 million for Hayden Davis with the YZ. Stay away from this shit, guys. Stop buying these celebrity bullshit coins.
yeah, I mean, like, but I feel like he just positions himself to be able to do this, man, and it sucks. It's like who's gonna like not do that, right? Obviously, like you don't want to steal from people and all that stuff, but the way he's doing it is he's sniping ahead, right? So it's just I don't know, man. Like the guy is constantly just getting richer from it all.
I mean, obviously inside information, right? Like he apparently 25 Yeezy tokens was dropped right before the official Yeezy token, and you're going to tell me what he sniped every single one of those. You know what I mean? Like it's just I doubt it. I think he knew which one was the contract and he got it before everyone else. But who knows? Who knows? Insiders are going to inside. That's all we can do. Listen to this, dude. Gemini surpasses Coinbase on US iOS app store following the launch of its XRP Mastercard. XRP Mastercard is a crypto-linked credit card launched through partnership between Gemini, Ripple Labs, and Mastercard. Holders use it like any other Mastercard purchases at millions of merchants worldwide instead of traditional rewards. So instead of getting airplane miles and cash back, you're actually earning XRP for every purchase. Potentially 3% of every purchase goes and buys XRP for your account. What do you think about this, dude? And Gemini flying up the charts because of it.
I like it. I think that like giving cash back in crypto that is like strong cryptos, right? XRP strong as much as like, you know, we give them a hard time and stuff like that. They're solid in that aspect. But yeah, I like it. You know, Coinbase is doing a card that's going to be also doing
Bitcoin, right?
the Bitcoin. Yeah. So this is going to be good. Good. Yeah. And then, you know, this will continue. This will be a popular thing in my opinion.
Yeah, imagine that's freaking awesome though, because I use credit cards all the time for like the points and stuff like that, especially my Amazon one, because I just make sure everything kind of gets paid at the end of the month. Because the points, I mean, you can make like $80 a month off just cash back, you know, because the amount of purchase that we make on there. So I would love to do this, even though I'm not huge on XRP. If I can get some XRP just sitting there and just never touch it, just let it sit there for 10 years, 20 years, I mean, that could be tons of money in the future. So I do like this, but I would rather it be a cryptocurrency like I did. Like it'd be cool to get dog cash back on dog or something. But
well, if you could pick, that would be cool, right?
That would be awesome. I mean, technically you should be able to. You're just going into the market and buying it, right? They're buying it for you. So let's move along though. The last thing I have here is MetaMask now supports social login, letting users create and recover self-custodial wallets via Google or Apple accounts. To me, this is dangerous. I'm traditional. I like my 12 words. I like, you know, I'm really protective over my stuff, and I do not want a Google account or an Apple account to have my private key. I do not like this, but I do get it. This is how you onboard normies.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got it. So that part I do like. I like the fact that like it will onboard normies, but I get where you're coming from in terms of being dangerous, right?
Right.
But do you also are you willing to sacrifice that to get mass adoption? I don't know how you feel even about mass adoption at this point. Like, do you feel like we need to continually do this type of approach to get them on?
No, I mean, you're setting them up for failure, right? Like, people's Google and Apple accounts get hacked all the time. What happens if you have $14,000 in a MetaMask and somebody gets a hold of your Google, right? A Google login. I recently just had, I got an email from Google saying somebody from like Nevada or something was trying to access my account or some shit like that, right? And I was like, oh shit! Imagine if they get in there and then get your private key, right? Like, to me, it's setting up for failure. Like, you can hack my computer, it doesn't matter. I don't keep anything on here. So to me, like, there's no way, unless you physically come find me, that's the only way you really get access to my accounts, right? So, and a lot of times I'll download a wallet, you know, write down the words and then delete them, right? And maybe people can say, hey, you get into the back end of your computer, you can find them. I disagree. I don't think that's really capable. You're able to do that. So, but even so, you still have to get into my computer, right? That's another thing. So for me, I don't think this is useful, but apparently to get mass adoption, you need it. But I just think that people need to be, they need to come on chain. They need to get their 12 words. I don't know. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody.
Yeah. But I do think that it is necessary for mass adoption. But then it's like, how much will mass adoption help our space at this point? I think it will help in the aspect of looking at long-term, confident, like new investments that can spur up out of, you know, because now mass adoption creates more of a business fundamental type approach, right? Because now you're not offering the idea anymore of crypto or Web3, you're offering convenience to somebody. You know what I mean? And so that actually in my opinion creates the most revenue is like, if you can make someone's life more convenient, they will pay as much money as they, that's why you have people that are like broke that still go to Starbucks every day, because they want that coffee, they want that comfort, they want that, you know what I mean? And so that's why I think we need mass adoption, and that's why I think we need stuff like this, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like this. Like, if you want to protect your home and your house, like, you know what you're going to do specifically. If you're in a state that you can carry or whatever, then you might do that, and you might have all these alarm systems, but the next person might not. Maybe they feel like, okay, all I need is like, a sign in my yard that says we have alarm or something, or don't go a guard dog or whatever, right? And so I think that's the perspective that like we're eventually going to have to take, is like, we're going to protect our house how we want, and other people will as well, however they choose fit.
Yeah, but the only problem is if a bunch of normies get their stuff hacked, you know what I mean? Like, there is no bank to give you your money back, right? Like, if your bank account gets hacked, potentially your credit cards get hacked, you can get those payments gone. But if normies come in and they put their life savings into their MetaMask, and that MetaMask gets hacked because of your Google account got hacked, I mean, that would be devastating, right? I'm seeing, and the scary part is too, I'm seeing every single day on my feed. I know you see it too. My wallet got hacked. I lost all my ordinals. I lost all my this. I lost all my that. Right? Like, it's scary. And I guess Clemente from the Daily Bone, he was saying that he keeps all the stuff on Coinbase. He's like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't. If I need Solana, I send it to my Phantom wallet. When I take profit, I send it back to Coinbase. I don't trust myself, and I don't trust hackers. So, I mean, maybe that's the normie game. Like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think Coinbase is actually probably one of the safer options on, like, if you're going to do that, just because we know what they're tied to. They're tied to, regulation. They're tied to the SEC. If something goes down, that, like, Brian Armstrong's been offering cryptocurrency, digital assets since 2013 that I know of, probably before then. But, I think that's the only kind of approach that I would feel kind of completely safe in, but I think normies would feel okay with that, right? But then the part that you're talking about is the hard lessons for them, right? Like, if they're in some sort of thing, but the more that it gets mass adopted, unfortunately, the more that like these regulators are going to kind of get their hands on it, and not the same way as previously, because actually previously they didn't get their hands dirty with it. They were more like, it was the worst approach possible. It was like, we don't want to get involved with this industry, but we're taking you to court. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The right approach would be like, hey, do the right thing if you're going to do business in this industry, and if you don't, we're going to make sure that you're held accountable. And that just wasn't the approach before, even though they try to act like that was.
Yeah. 100%. All right, let's get into that crypto fear and greed. But first, before we do, guys, remember, if you guys put a TK in the chat, if you're on X, just put a TK in the chat. If you're on YouTube, please put your Twitter handle and TK in the chat. I'm going to add you guys to the wheel. I'm going to be doing that in about 5 minutes. So make sure you guys are putting your TK and your Twitter handle in the chat. We'll get you added. We're giving away 300,000 Trench Kitty runes. These runes will be stakeable. Coming up too, so you definitely want to get your hands on some TK runes. If you do not, September 1st, we're going to open a vault with fluid tokens. They're going to time lock these runes in your wallet, so it is nothing like that, and you're going to be able to get 3% of the supply, kind of split among all stakers, and that is happening in about 5 days, and that's a 90-day lock. So look forward to that. I'm excited for that as well. We're going to lock up a lot of these TK runes, and potentially for a long time. So we'll see. Well, let's get into the crypto fear and greed. So last week we were at a 53. Yesterday we're at a 50. We are way lower, about 20% lower than last week's 53. Where do you think we are today?
Ugh.
It's bad.
So,
I don't even want to say this number.
47?
43.
Whoa. Holy crap.
Isn't that bad, dude? Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, I feel
it don't
that way.
feel that way.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
I feel that way. But
look how strong ETH is.
I mean, yeah, ETH is definitely looking strong. But like, what would be the best case scenario right now? Because like Bitcoin's back below 110, would be like ETH thrusting up while Bitcoin's going down. So like, if that would actually set the markets up pretty good. Obviously, like if the Fed kind of goes into QE as well, and then all of the rate cut and all that stuff as well. But like, I don't know, man. It's just it's such a weird time right now. Because we're in August and we experienced a pretty damn good first 2 weeks of August. Third week wasn't horrible, but it was up and down. And now it's just like, to finish the month, it's just doesn't feel great. And again, I hate to go back to this because I was in the camp that I thought we were going to finish the month strong. But every month at the end is the time whenever things kind of get like not necessarily like there's a good chance it's not going to feel good. I'll just say that.
Yeah. But let's get into the Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura Finance. So, guys, in about 2 hours from right now, we're going to go live again. I know we're live right now, but we're going to go live again with the guys from Artura. These guys are building on Botonix. Botonix is giving away the biggest Bitcoin airdrop imaginable. It's going to be absolutely huge, guys, and you're going to want to be a big part of that. They got funding to buy Bitcoin to airdrop the users of the chain. Think about that for a second. And by using something like Artura.finance, who also has a point system, and you guys can get on their leaderboard by just making a few trades with some low leverage and some low money, like I'm doing every single day. I'm doing so much volume over there because I'm doing 25x on $30, and I'm just in and out of trades, but I'm just kind of getting my volume up because I think this is me just speculating that is going to be a way to get a bigger allocation if they do a token. And we are rumored to have the ARA token. So really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to everything. We did put out a video how to get started with them. We're going to be doing an airdrop video really soon on the entire Botonix ecosystem. But you guys can get a head start with that and get on Artura.finance today.
Absolutely, guys. And before we get into the Bitcoin price action, help us out as you always do every single day. We're so thankful for you guys. On the YouTube side, smash that like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn your notifications on as well, so you know when we go live. On the X side, let's share the space, guys. We need to grow the Trench Kitty and On-Chain Revolution communities. And in abstract, we love you guys as well. Share that link. Same thing with Twitch, Kick, and Rumble, Spotify as well. Let's get into some Bitcoin price action here, along with Ethereum and the crypto bubbles, which it's not going to be pretty, but we will do our best here and see if we can find some silver lining. But the hour does not look good for Bitcoin at all. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look good. You can see here we are starting to lose the MACD buy pressure. It isn't fully turned to the downside, but it is definitely losing the momentum that we had to that upside in terms of the MACD. You can see it's just getting weaker. Plus, we're heading out of the the overbought territory on the stochastics RSI, right? So let's see what we're looking at in terms of support and resistance. And we are going back to 3 a.m. this morning, Central Time. And let's take a look here. So yeah, where we are right now at the 109,725, support is winning that battle, and we have support underneath at 109,650. So support looks okay right here, but let's see what right underneath that we look decent too. So we're kind of hanging on here. Where we're getting pinned is right here at the 109,800. So this is the highest level of volume though that we're looking at right now, at least going back to 3 a.m. this morning. So this is good. We have a decent advantage over the resistance here at the 109,600, almost 700, but we gotta push up some large buy bids up here to get through this area, because this is where we're getting stuck, is 109,800, like I mentioned before, and then right above that we're kind of trapped at the 109,900. So yeah, we don't start competing back again until we get to really 110. So we might have to kind of ping pong back and forth between 109,700 and 110 until we can break back up. But it seems like we're losing the buy pressure, so that's why I'm a little concerned about the second half of today, at least for Bitcoin. Look, I don't see Bitcoin having this huge bomb down to crazy numbers like 100,000. I don't see it, but could it happen? Absolutely. I mean, anything can happen, right? But obviously we got to hit certain levels to get down there. 108 was a level that was sustained for a long time, and then we eventually broke above 110. So I don't know what to expect for here to finish out August and the beginning of September, but I definitely think we need a sentiment change, because in a very short period of time we went from feeling pretty darn good to doom and gloom. But we'll see how the rest of today goes. If we can't hold the support area where we are right now, we could see further down, heading to 108. Let's look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour gives a little bit of, silver lining here. If we can bounce back up in the 1 hour and come out of this, and then break this back open. A lot of times that does happen on the 1 hour time frame, to where you think you're losing momentum in one direction and it pops back open. That's why a lot of times I feel like the 1 hour can be deceiving. It's because it's where I start like zooming out in those larger time frames, but then it can flip because it's short enough time frame to where it can kind of be a little bit more volatile, right? But the 4 hour definitely needs that to happen to come out of this. And on the stochastics looks horrible though. You see an attempt to come out and then it got rejected, attempt to come out and got rejected again. I mean, I hate to say, when I usually see a setup like this means that we're going to be below, in the oversold territory, maybe for quite a bit longer. So we'll see. Hopefully that 1 hour chart gets us out. We'll see. Let's take a look at the daily. The daily is important. I want to look at the daily on Bitcoin. So yeah, the daily just looks atrocious as well. I mean, you can see right here, it looked like we were going to come out of that. And yeah, kind of similar to what I said about that 4 hour. Looked like we were coming out of oversold territory just to get rejected back down here. And the fast line is pointing almost directly down here. For Bitcoin, at least, for Bitcoin. Maybe this is the moment where Ethereum does opposite. Let's hope. All right, taking a look at Ethereum for the hour chart. It does look... It looks less exhausted than Bitcoin does, right? For the momentum indicator here on the MACD, but still starting to lose some of that momentum, though. You can see the stochastics looks like we could hang out here a bit longer. There was moments, previous cycles, to where, like I said, Ethereum kind of shoots up as Bitcoin's going down. I don't know if we're too early for that right now, just because, we still have QE that could, give that type of energy with, going into full on risk on. So I'm not expecting it, but it would be a great surprise, in my opinion, if Ethereum does go against Bitcoin to the upside. We'll see if there's a chance for that. But for the hour chart, it is starting to lose the momentum on the buy side. But I will say, much better position than it was yesterday. The second half of yesterday, we were teasing, heading possibly down to like mid 4,300 area, right? And low 4,300 area, maybe high 4,200 area. So to be back over 4,500, I think is a big win. If we do go into sell pressure here, let's see how hard it goes into the sell pressure, because we've had a pretty long run of sell pressure going back from late Friday, which is completely just baffles me after that amazing. I mean, look at this. I mean, this was the response to Jackson Hole's speech, like this. And then, I should have known once it started to creep down here, they were going to do a Bart Simpson. Usually Bart Simpson never fails, right? Once that pattern starts, I absolutely hate it too. But it's kind of like, when do we just say, okay, Bart Simpson's coming? You know what I mean? Like, because it always happens on an aggressive push up, right? Sorry, let me go back to the 1 hour. That shows it the best. It always happens on an aggressive push up right here. That's the back of the head, and then sideways. And then once it starts to creep down here, it's almost kind of like we should expect a Bart Simpson at that point, right? I mean, it's not
like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, it does, but yeah, it's not a perfect Bart Simpson, but I mean, it is a Bart Simpson kind of pattern, right? Like it typically, and it always, this is another silver lining that I get from this, is it always, in my opinion, stops a little bit above where it started, right? I see that a lot. So, maybe we're starting this new floor here, and then, get a higher high. That's the hope. We'll see. But yeah, so that's Bitcoin, Ethereum for you guys. Crypto bubbles, honestly, there's probably not too much need to go deep into this. Fartcoin's down 10%. That's all you got to know. Fartcoin's down 10%. Everything's down 100%. No, I was kidding. But yeah, I mean, some of these other ones, Hex down 10% as well. Yesterday, the average, I think, was 5%. So taking a look here, it's with some outliers, right? You got some outliers, but it looks like if anything, maybe it went down a little bit in terms on average, but you have some outliers. Like I said, Fartcoin down 10%, but it's still probably because of these, it's around 5% still. So yeah, that is everything here in terms of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the alts. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Zorak took a huge hit.
What the hell is USDJ?
I don't know, man. There's something new on the crypto bubbles every day. Right? There's something new. Crow is the winner of the day.
Yeah.
Crypto.com's token was in the news. That's the winner of the day. But yeah. So that's it for you guys.
All right, let's jump into the roll call here on this channel. We do a thing called First is First. We take the first comment every single day. We add it to a spreadsheet, and we're giving away a Bitcoin frog. So right now it is a race, a two-man race between Lackey Lukey and WebDrill. Let me actually show my screen here. Lackey Lukey, you won again today. You're 26, 2 wins in a row, 41 and 42. WebDrill has 44, so you're right on them. It's definitely worth it, guys, to get on this list 100%, be a part of this list. But yeah, we're in August now. Crazy, dude. We've been doing this since all the way back here. It's insane that we've just added. It's wild. Wild to see. Wild to see. But yeah, so we'll be giving away that Bitcoin frog. Looks like the 31st of December. So, and like you'll get WebDrill. But as is anyone's game still, I mean, I think you still have plenty of time. I mean, you can win 15 times in 1 month. And still potentially have a shot. So, but who knows? All right. So, like I said, was that first comment? Shout out to my friend. I added you to the wheel. ASAP Benji. I want to add you, but I don't know your Twitter handle. So, I actually think I have it. Actually, I can add you as long as if you guys have a DM with me, that counts too. I mean, so if you do win or whatever, so make Bitcoin fun again. Shout out to you, my friend. I added you to that. Mats is here. The Mats. Bitcoin is Truce's jackpot crypto. I added you. ASAP. Abstract Crying. I added you. K99. You're on there. Spindrift got you. Vader Time added you. Chief Axel added you, man. Glass Hopper. Shout out to you, my friend. Added you as well. Joko got you on there. Cheaty, what's up, man? Hey, man, it's been a while since I've seen that beautiful blue suit of yours. Shout out to Cheaty. Absolutely awesome to have you here, my friend. Super fan, my guy, GM. Appreciate you being here today, man. Every single day you're here. It's absolutely awesome. Zach Pereski is here. Shout out to Zach. Noah's dad is here. Sup. TK added you. Noah's dad, Patty Poo. I got you a Smug Toshi. Stan got you. Dosido, my guy. Hydro Sapien is here. I got you. I added you as well. Tim Baker, AOD Art himself, got you, my friend. Mice Elf says PDI is an algorithmic stablecoin. Play the cycle. Best case, it pegs to $1 and you made 100x. Worst case, you lose your shirt. Yeah, I'm not playing with algorithmic stablecoins. Everyone knows how to destroy them, right? So it's one of those things where unless Richard Hart comes in with his $400 million in Ethereum and buys a stablecoin with it, which I just can't see him doing. But yeah, not my play there. Nighthawk, GM Fells, GM, Nighthawk, my guy. Mats, I added you. Nighthawk, I got you as well. Mirror, I got you. Nighthawk says, don't forget about me, Shizzy. Add me to the wheel. I got you, bro. I got you. Alpha Gamer says, GM guy, what's up, man? I added you as well. He says, bought the dip on STSS and trading volatility. He says, Yagobi, check out Sol Bitcoin chart and compare that to Sol ETH chart. Pretty obvious play to me. Makes you wonder why I'm trading STS. So what is he trying to say here? He said, I guess he's trading Sol against ETH.
No, Sol is down against ETH, but Sol is up against Bitcoin. But ETH is down against Bitcoin. How does that work? I'm looking at 3 different charts right now, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hold on,
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I mean, the SSTS is a I think a way for you to short. What is it called? Let me see here. While I'll research this while you're going through that.
Yeah, I'm finished. That was the last comment.
What do you call it? STSS?
I think it's one of those stocks, SPACs maybe.
Yeah, could you explain? Yeah. Is it the short volume that you're trading? Okay. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, but Sol is up against BTC. That is for sure. It's actually looking really strong against it. Sharp Technology.
Gotcha.
So you were on the right track, Shizzy.
One of those companies, SPACs.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Which
Let's get into our
would be good for
What's
the
that?
meme. Which would be good for the meme sector if that's true, because then they're gonna probably unleash like hundreds of millions of dollars into Sol.
Yeah, be crazy. All right, let's get into the news from the trenches. What's been going on out there? Let's send it down to our correspondent out in the trenches. Trench Kitty, what do you got going on, buddy?
Guys, it's tough out here. No easing up. The weak hands won't let anything run. It's brutal out here. No let here.
Damn, he's just not having a good time out there, man. How are you doing? Hopefully better than our good friend Trench Kitty.
I mean, I think Trench Kitty's probably doing better than I am. I mean, nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's kind of same situation, right? Like, it's just there's not like yesterday there was a token that launched called Delta V. So Gake is like a big trader. You've heard of him, right? Gake. Yeah. He's a big trader in this whole ecosystem, but he's not a sniper trader like Cupsy and Orangey and them, right? So he's not going to dump on you. If he gets into something, he's going to hold it for a little bit of time. But he also knows that people track his wallet, so there are probably people following in after him and stuff like that. Well, he got into a token yesterday called Delta V, and it was a new launch pad on Solana. And it was called like Start. It's like a startup thing where it's like TradFi, where you have $10 million is the bonding curve.
$10 million.
Yeah. And so like I followed him. I got into it, right, and it was like it was going up. It got up to like 3 million. But I mean, the thing about them is that it's called Start.fun. The thing about them is that like they charge a 5% tax in and a 5% tax out.
Oh my god!
Because they add liquidity to their whole thing is trying to add as much liquidity as possible to the token. So like when people dump it, like so two things: the tax thing is supposed to prevent dumping, and then or sniper trading, and then also like the liquidity strength, right? But like getting to 10 million, in my opinion, is like too high. I think you got to set that at like maybe like. It got to like 3 million, right? And so that like people are like looking for just anything at this point. Like they're trying. It didn't even bond. It didn't bond yesterday. So
nothing's gonna bond. $10 million.
I mean, it got to 3 million though. It got to 3 million, and so but that was people are just looking for something other than that. Like Solana, the actual Solana account posted AMMs that have proprietary like branding, and one of them was GoonFi, and literally the application is called GoonFi, and then so they, what Solana does, the trenches does, they launched a coin in there, and like everybody was like, this is gonna go to like 5, 10, 15 million dollars. It couldn't sustain past $1 million. And I mean, like, so that's the state of the trenches right now. It's yesterday there was something called a AI YouTuber called Sui Say. The name is literally Sui Say. The name is Sui Say. 2Chain name, right? Forbes Japan put it as 30. She was the cover of the Forbes Japan magazine.
Oh my god!
As 30 under 30. And if this was a regular, like, like a month and a half ago, this thing minimum would have got to 15, 20 million on first day. It couldn't get past like 4. And I think this morning I looked at it, and this is how I know it's a pretty strong play. It maintained like, 2 to 2.5 million throughout the night last night. And then this morning it got to like 1.1. I don't know where it's at right now. So these are real examples of someone that's like constantly like researching the trenches, and it's just really, really like dry out there. It's tough, and it makes sense. Fartcoin couldn't get back above 82 cents. You said this morning it was at 78 cents.
Yeah.
you know, if it doesn't change in the next 2 weeks, I would not be shocked if Altcoin gets to 50 cents. I wouldn't be shocked.
Wow, that could be an opportunity
For the upside. If you're a conservative leverage guy, it could be.
Yeah.
You know, I think the after it launched and got really popular, the lowest it dropped to was 25 cents. But imagine Fartcoin being 50 cents, which is $500 million market cap, right? But also just know that the trenches are on fire right now. Like they are absolutely on fire. Alpha Gamer just made some comments in there, and he said that STSS is the largest #1 Solana treasury company. You know, if they are going to be cutting checks to buy Solana up, that is something that will help big time, I think. Because right now, what it is it's a basically lack of liquidity, addicted gamblers, sniper traders, top 200 that are just winning constantly, and the people that are deploying coins with teams bundling and winning as well.
Yeah.
And then
Nathan Davises of the world. Yeah.
And the launch pads are obviously winning because they're winning the most because they get fees from everybody, right? So obviously the biggest group of losers in this is the people that are gambling and trying to hit because they were able to hit before. In this dry period, you're just not going to be able to hit a big one unless it's like a manipulated, coordinated launch. You know what I mean? And it's most likely not going to happen on a launch pad like the Easy token, right? So that's the state of the trenches. And I'm just being transparent with it. Not trying to be a doom and gloom. That is, if you can ask anybody that's in the trenches, I would imagine that they would describe it very similarly to the way I just put it.
Yeah, 100%. Doesn't seem fun. Doesn't seem fun there at all. But yeah, man, I guess it's let's get to something that is fun. Let's kind of jump to the wheel spinning here. Let me get rid of the banner.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, man. So I got everybody. I do need your. I'll add you. So we don't have a lot of people participating today. I'll add you, Magical Maths, but you're gonna have to DM me, bro, if you do win. So, and that's the thing. I'll add anyone, but like if you guys don't get your TK, it's because you guys didn't reach out to me. And Arita, I gotta add you as well. IDA. All right, got you as well. TV. All right. Let's get this thing spinning here. Let me show my screen. All right, this is the wheel right now. I'm going to give one more quick look, make sure I have everybody. It does look like I do. Oh, Rick G came in at the end. Got to add my guy, Rick G. All right, you're in there, Rick G. All right. Let's get this wheel spinning. If you guys do not see your name, let me know. I'll give you a few minutes. I'm going to check the chat one last time, but I am pretty positive I have everybody. I don't have ASAP Benji. I'll add you because I am in a DM with you, so I'll add you as well. Let me see. It looks like everyone's on here. Myself, you want to get in? You want to give me your handle real quick, and we can get this thing spinning here. But yeah, let's get it. All right. Let's spin it. Ready for the first one?
Yep, let's do it.
Give us a quick shuffle. And
good luck.
Spin the wheel. Matt Toshi, congratulations to you, my friend. Grab your name there. All right, got you. Locked you in. Let's remove you from the wheel. Let's give this another spin. Give it a quick shuffle. Spin it again. CZ0 Art, congratulations to you, my friend. Locked you in. Go to the back to the private. All right. Cool. Last spin. You guys ready? We're going to remove you. Do a couple shuffles. And let's spin this thing. Final time.
Do you need me to send you those or?
No, I'll be good. Abstract crying. All right, we got our 3 winners for today. Shout out to every single one of you guys who wins every day. We're doing this again tomorrow. If you didn't win today, you will have more chances all week. Today's winners are Matoshi, CZ0 Art, and Abstract Crying. Appreciate you guys, man. All right. But I think that's our show today, guys. Really appreciate everybody here. Very, very low show today. We got 131 on Twitch. 109 on YouTube, 134 on X, and 7 with the Trench Kitty X. Appreciate every single one of you guys, not to mention everyone on Kick, Abstract, and Rumble, and Spotify will be uploaded later. Appreciate every single one of you guys, man.
Absolutely, man. Without you guys, we could not do this. I always say that every single day. We always say that, and we appreciate it. And without our partners, we also couldn't do this. So if you could check our partners out, we'd greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to swap for runes or altcoins, you got to do it at satsterminal.com. Why? Because you can earn Amber points, and Amber points are going to be a give back XP system for early adopters. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. Also, follow them on X at Sats Terminal. And if you want to be a part of their beta test group for their borrowing and lend platform product, then reach out to them via message and let them know, and they'll get you guys hooked up with that Telegram group. But yeah, head over to satsterminal.com to learn more today. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer for the Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're looking to jump your Bitcoin ordinals or Bitcoin NFTs like counterparty NFTs to Ethereum, you got to use Emblem Vault to do so. Right now, the Gandhi protocol is on Ethereum, and they allow for you to take a loan out against your Taproot Wizards right now. So you can use Emblem Vault to get it over there, and they're going to be opening up to more collections. I'm very sure of that, and then also other chains and environments as well. So make sure you're heading over to emblem.vision to learn more. And then also they have an amazing AI product in the Solana ecosystem, the best AI product in my opinion, an Agent Hustle. If you are looking for a safe 2 to 5x play, you can use Hustle and ask him to give you some options. He'll bring them back and give you reasons why he believes that they are good solid plays. Also, you can use them for conditional trades, like if you're trading Fartcoin right now, you're like, hey, buy some Fartcoin because it's dirt cheap, and sell it once I'm up 100%. You can set that conditional trade. He'll make it on your behalf there. There is one more product in the Agent Hustle ecosystem called Migrate.Fund. If you launched a token on Pump Fund or another launchpad, you want to migrate it to another launchpad or just manage your own LP, you got to use Migrate.Fund. Why? Because it's very easy and simple. You can just have your community go to the website and take the necessary steps, and they'll be able to migrate very easily. Shizzy and I both did this to test it out, and it was awesome. But yeah, you want to head over to Migrate.Fund, and if you are a leader of a project to do this, then make sure you connect with the Emblem team, and they'll get you started with the first steps there to get into the next cohort. And then lastly, the team has a TGE for their Bitcoin rune that's going to be launching on block 915,000 on Bitcoin. If you go to OpenSea right now, you can buy a pre-sale version of the token. If you search Founder Vaults, you can buy one of these NFTs, and once we get to block 915,000, it should open up and you'll have a Bitcoin wallet in there with your keys and your Bitcoin runes. So really exciting stuff, guys. You can get it cheap now before the actual Bitcoin rune is launched. Head over to emblem.vision to learn all about what I just broke down for you guys. And then Artura.finance is the personal leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. Like Shizzy said, we're going to be going live with them here shortly. But if you're going to be looking to trade for Bitcoin synthetic fungible tokens like Dog Go to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, perhaps Ordi, Sats, you got to do it here. They're going to have all those options for you, along with synthetic derivatives like MicroStrategy and Coinbase to be able to trade. But you can trade for Bitcoin and Ethereum right now as they are live on the Botanix Spider Chain Bitcoin Layer 2. And if you utilize their platform, you can actually earn points for a future giveaway during their TGE as well. You can earn points by making trades, but the most points that you earn are by adding to the vault, liquidity to the vault. Also, you'll be earning points for the Botanic side as well. They're going to be tracking transactions from their end. So head over to Artura.finance to learn more today. And then Tokyo Wallet is making the best UI UX for all of their end users. They support Bitcoin, Cardano, and now Sui. On the Bitcoin side, you can trade for Bitcoin runes as they partnered with Sats Terminal to make that possible. On the Cardano side, they partnered with Dex Hunter to make it possible for you guys to swap for Cardano tokens as well. And you can swap for Sui as they have their aggregator partner on that end as well. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store, download that application, let us know your feedback. And then on the Google side, head over to the Google Play Store. If you have an Android, you can download it there. Also, there is a YouTube section on there where you can find our channel and other YouTubers as well for Crypto Alpha. Head over to Tokyo.io to learn more today. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength with the power of AI and BTCFi. With their AI product, the Wizard 0.3, you are able to guide yourself through the Merlin Chain ecosystem by way of the Wizard. You can ask different questions about the Merlin Chain, and then you can actually do Merlin Chain swaps and DeFi functions as well. But the version 4, you can actually test that right now on the beta link right there, and you can do cross-chain swaps. You can swap from Merlin Chain with your Merlin Chain BTC and buy Solana tokens, BNB tokens, etc. Right? So really exciting stuff what this team has. If you want to participate and help secure the chain, you can do so with the proof of stake options. There's 3 options. You can stake Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin, and that averages out to be a 16% APR. It does lock up until September 30th. So you got about a month to do it right now if you want to get in and earn that yield. And then there's 2 options on the Merlin Chain token side. So there's the flexible options, which is the day-to-day, and then there's the bonded option, which is a 6-month option. But the day-to-day, the flexible, you earn 15% APR. If you do withdraw after you enter it in, it does take 7 days. Just know that. But you can use your rewards daily to compound. You can claim and compound that into a compound staking strategy there. On the bonded, it is 6 months, but you earn 45% APR. And same thing, you can do a compound staking strategy because you get to claim the rewards every single day. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more. And lastly is Ordinal Hive. We're going to have our guy Fonzie on the show, I believe this Thursday. So make sure you catch that because they're going to be launching something Friday. So you got to get all the details on Thursday. But yeah, this is the fastest ordinal marketplace in the entire ordinal market. If you sell an ordinal from the Ordinal Hive platform, you get your Bitcoin right away. You don't have to wait for the blocks to be completed. And then also they have amazing trader tools as well, live mempool insights, and like I said, the fastest ordinal platform marketplace in all the entire ordinal market. We appreciate you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yep. Great job, man. As always, and if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io, some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering your space, please send them our website. Really feel like it can help them get started and code up to where we are today. Brand new article just dropped today. September Fed rate cuts, altcoin explosion. Definitely amazing read, guys. 3 minutes that will take you to read each of these. You can go back week after week and kind of read them all. If you know someone, like I said, it can really help them catch up to where we are today. If you guys need a VPN, we got NordVPN. So I was talking to Yagobi this morning, and I was like, do you need a VPN for Hyperliquid? And apparently you do. I've never really used Hyperliquid, so I didn't know. But if you wanted to use Hyperliquid and they're geo-blocking you, you guys can get a VPN here. You can put it to Singapore. You can put it to anywhere in the world you want to be. So, and we'll show that where you're at. But you can get this for $3 a month right now. You guys take advantage of this. Lock it in for 2 years. Set it, forget it. $66 will cost you a lot of potential non-hacking, right? Because I think that when you do go to these websites and stuff, they do get your IP address, which could lead to a lot of different things. So having that VPN is just extra security. Like I said, you can't beat it for $3 a month. There's free ones out there, but they are very spotty. I've used them all, and then I've always settled on NordVPN to lock it in. Like I said, 2 years for this discount. At one point, I was paying $10 a month for it because we didn't have this link here. So don't do that. Don't go to NordVPN. Make sure you guys use our link. Get it for $3 a month today. And if you guys need some merch for the Hong Kong event or any event coming up, all you guys got to do is click our store tab up top. And this is where we got hats, shirts, jackets, and so much more. And we do have some new Trench Kitty stuff come up here. Type in a trench, and my man Trench Kitty hoodie comes up. I'm going to be buying this right here. I absolutely love this hoodie. Check it out today if you guys are interested in a Trench Kitty hoodie and so much more. We get shirts. And if you guys want me to add something, just let me know. I can add anything to the store here. for you guys. Just let me know if you guys want anything, shirts, jackets, whatever. I can add your PFP, anything. Just let me know, and we can add it to our store there. All done through our third-party Shopify. But, guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. UTC. And we'll be live in an hour and a half from right now. Come back, join us. We will be doing a TK giveaway. So anybody who comes in, we might as well. We'll do a wheel spin over there as well. So another chance today to win some TK if you didn't win today. So see you guys in an hour and a half back here or on X. And until later today.
Peace.
OnChain revolution, roll call, market recap. You not bullish enough, no. You're not bullish enough, no. Look at the price go, Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain revolution.